Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making turkey pot pie in the Power XL using leftover turkey from Thanksgiving. Alright, I'm starting out in my Power XL. If you don't have one of this, you can very easily do this on a stovetop. I'm going to turn this on to, we're going to go to simmer. Let me find the simmer setting on here, guys. Okay, now we're at simmer. It's at 300 or 205 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm going to turn that up as high as it'll go, which is 212, which is just boiling. And I'm going to go ahead and press start. We're going to get this heated up a while. Alright, now that this is preheating, it's still not hot yet. I have 1 onion, 2 stalks of celery, and some parsley I diced up. We're getting that in. And guys, this is a great use of leftover turkey, so you're not wasting it. And I'm going to put in 6 cups of chicken broth. I looked for turkey broth, but I couldn't find it, so chicken will do. And I have another container on hand. I think I'm going to add that in because that's not quite enough for me. I don't know that I'll use all 6 cups of it, but we'll check this out and we'll see. And I'm not going to do it to this box, but in the other box, I cut a little hole in the top because when you're pouring, it keeps it from chugging, gives you a nice stream. So let's see here. I'm probably only, tripping over my tongue. I'm probably only going to go for half this, which will be 9 cups total, because we need room for the turkey and the pot pie when we put it in. Okay, that's looking good there. That's about 9 cups of chicken broth. Now I'm going to put my lid on this, and I'm going to allow this to heat up to a gentle boil. Alright, now I'm using my mom's recipe for the pot pie. It's really simple. 1 cup of water, that's cold water. You don't want to use warm or hot because you'll turn out making dumplings in the bowl. 1 teaspoon of salt. 1 egg. And guys, this makes some really delicious pot pie dough. And I'm just going to scramble that egg in that water with the salt. And all you want to do now is you just want to add flour in until it gets to the right dough consistency. So I'm going to start out with a cup of flour, and I know I'm going to need more than this. We're going to go ahead and put 1.5 cups in. And I'm going to give that a stir. And I'm going to have to add more flour, and I'm going to go for another cup of flour. And like I said, you'll know when you get it to the right consistency for dough. And I'm just going to incorporate that flour in with the liquid and the egg. And we're getting there, guys. We have a little bit ways to go yet. You don't want sticky, tacky dough. A little more flour. And try not to mess your whole work area up. A little more. Alright, I'm going to set this aside just for now. Alright, I have a piece of parchment paper laid out, and you want to flour your surface good so your dough doesn't stick. And I'm just going to spread my flour around there. And I'm also going to flour my rolling pin because you don't want to stick to that either. I'm going to take a piece of our pot pie dough that we made. And I'm not taking a huge piece because I have a limited work area, so you want to be able to keep it within your work area. I'm going to turn this around and get it good and floured up. And now I'm going to roll this out into our pot pie dough. And guys, if you're not into making homemade pot pie, you can buy the pre-made pot pie squares. They're dry like pasta, but they're not going to be as good as homemade pot pie. So I would just take a minute and make homemade pot pie. And you just want to roll it out till it's fairly thin. Not paper thin, but fairly thin. I'm going to flour that area there. And I'm going to take a knife. I have one stashed back here somewhere. And I'm going to cut my pot pie into squares. And I'm going to lay it over here on the floured part of the parchment paper. And you don't want to stack it on top of each other, because if you do that, it's liable to stick together and you're just going to have one big ball of dough. And you're not going to be able to use it then. It's going to be trash. So just lay it out single. And I'm probably going to get another piece of parchment paper, flour it, and put my pot pie on there until I get it all rolled out. So once I get it all rolled out, I'll bring you guys back. Alright, now that I have my pot pie all rolled out, and I have another sheet like this over on the table, and that was just that cup of flour we used. I have some leftover turkey breasts from Thanksgiving. Don't worry about that flour on the knife, guys. That's going to help thicken our pot pie. I'm just going to get in here and get this turkey all cut up into bite-sized pieces. And I'm going to pull off the skin because we don't want the skin in our pot pie. Just throw that out. So I'm going to go ahead and get my turkey all cut up into bite-sized pieces. Right now that I have my turkey all diced up and in a pot, and I'm bringing this back up to temperature, I'm going to season this. I already tasted it. It needs a little something. And don't let your spoon swim in your food. I'm going to put a teaspoon of this McCormick's Himalayan pink sea salt, black pepper, and garlic in. If you don't have that, just some salt and pepper will do. And I'll grab a spoon here and we'll taste this for seasoning. Now that pot pie will absorb some salt that you put in, but you don't want to make it salty. Let me grab a spoon. Needs a little more. I'm going to go for another teaspoon, and this is to taste, guys, so don't feel like you have to use as much or as little as I use. Use what you like. Alright, let me give that a taste. That's tasting good there. Now I'm going to put just a little bit of regular salt in because we don't need the other spice. About a teaspoon. And that turkey will release some of its natural fats into the chicken stock as this cooks, and that'll help give it more of a turkey flavor. And I had a big turkey, half of a turkey breast. I didn't even use all of it. I put it back in the fridge. Charlie's going to make Eric some turkey salad out of that. That's good right there. I can add more seasoning in the end if I need to. Now I'm going to go ahead and get my pot pie in here. And you want to lay it in one piece at a time. You don't want to throw a whole pile in because they will stick together, and then you're just going to have a big dumpling dough ball mess. And this is starting to come back up to the simmer. Once I put the lid on there, that'll simmer away. All right, now they have all my pot pie in. I have a 12-ounce bag of frozen peas and carrots. I'm going to add that in there. And this part's optional. I do it because I like it. I'm going to add a little bit of celery seed in here. Not celery salt, but celery seed. I'm going to go for about a teaspoon because a little goes a long way. Stir this all together. And as I add my pot pie in, I gave it a stir. So once it's together, you see it's all loosely in there. Now as this cooks, the flour in the pot pie will help thicken this up. It's like a nice gravy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my lid back on here. It's still set on simmer. I'm going to bring this back up to a simmer and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. Then I'll take a piece of pot pie out and I'll taste it to make sure it's done. You don't want it doughy. And if it's done in 15 minutes, then we'll be good to go. Alright guys, my pot pie is done. It went for 15 minutes with the cover on. I checked this so I go a little longer. So I cooked it for an additional 10 minutes with the cover off. So it went for a total of 25 minutes. This is ready to go. Let's go and fix up a plate and see what we got. Alright guys, let me get in here and give this a try. I'm going to start with a little bit of this turkey first. Tender. Moist. Falls apart in your mouth. Let's get some of this pot pie. Like I said guys, if you have the time, make homemade pot pie because nothing beats that. Get on that spooner. Soaked up that good turkey and chicken broth flavor. The sauce thickened into a gravy. We'll try some of these vegetables now. Vegetables are tender and delicious. Guys, that's really delicious. It really wasn't hard at all. Homemade cooking at its best. Alright, there you have it. Turkey pot pie and the Power XL air fryer grill combo. Thanks for watching, and remember, love what you eat and eat what you love.